Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good evening to everyone. I hope all of you are doing well and have a great night. So, I welcome all the teachers, students, especially the students who are going to sit for the SPM examinations. Thank you so much for joining us today. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Zulfikar bin Muhammad Saufi. As a moderator for good evening. I am also one of site officer from Batang Padang district. Before that, please like and subscribe this channel, hit the ring button so that you won't miss any live sessions. So if you are new here, this program brought by NCER Malaysia. To be specific, NCER Academic Perak, Yayasan Petronas, University Sultan Idris Shah UPSI, and UPSI Holding Sdn Bhd. Without wasting our time, I would like to introduce our teacher, Wan Fairus bin Hasbullah from MRSM Batu Pahat, Johor. Before that, I would like to introduce a little bit about our teacher. She started a primary school from Sekolah Kebangsaan Parit Laris, and then she entered secondary school as MK Datin on Jaffa, also Parit Batu Pahat, and then she furthered the study TESOL at UK University Warwick, UK. First posting, she posting to MRS Emersing about 2 years, and then she transferred to MRSM Batu Pahat until now. So I would like to welcome our teacher. Hello, Teacher Fairus.
Hi.
Hi, teacher.
Hi.
How are you? Are you doing well tonight?
I feel great.
So, teacher, all right. I'm passing this floor to you. So this is your. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Zoom. All right. Hi, everyone. Good evening. So today is almost the middle of January, and I believe that all SPM candidates are working very hard to prepare for their SPM 2022. And tonight we are going to learn together a bit about how to write better essays. So hopefully your marks for English paper will be better and very good. Okay, so for tonight, we are going to look at the short, medium, and long sentences. In short, we have the acronym S, M, and L. It does not stand for small or small ideas. Yeah, we begin with small ideas, but then we cannot rely or depend 100% on that small ideas on their own. We have to give elaboration. We have to give examples to make our essay appear and look impressive to the examiners so that we can get good marks. All right. So in other words, short, medium, and long sentences are known as simple sentences, compound sentences, and complex sentences. And in some instances, we also have the highest type of sentences which excuse the typing error. It should be the compound complex sentences, right? So Let us just revisit of a simple sentence. Okay, what is a simple sentence? A simple sentence expresses one complete thought. It is also known as an independent clause. For example, my name is Fairus. I have 4 children. Okay, so I went to class. We have one subject and we have one verb, and then we also have one complement or to complete the sentence, or is known as modifier. Okay, um, I go online. So that is also a simple sentence. Simple sentence is basic. So from the beginning until the end, if you use only a simple sentence in your essay, then your essay will not be given very high marks. Why? Because, like I just said earlier, it is basic, and the examiner will know that your vocabulary is limited, and also the language overall is not that good. So, how can we make our essay better? What other sentences can we use other than simple sentences? Right? So we move on to the second type of sentence, which is a compound sentence. So a compound sentence has at least two independent clauses. For example, my name is Fairus and I have 4 children. Because of the conjunction and is used to combine the two sentences. It's not only one idea but two ideas. We do not call it a simple sentence anymore. We call it a compound sentence. Look at the example given here. I drink green tea. Other people drink coffee. So I drink green tea, full stop. Other people drink coffee. So we have two simple sentences, which is very basic. So how can we make it to another level? Then we use a conjunction. In this example, I drink green tea because we want to show two contrasting or two different ideas. We use a conjunction but. I drink green tea, but other people or they drink coffee. So it is my hope that all students can at least vary your sentences in your essay. Please do not use only one type of sentence. At least you use more than one sentence. At least you mix between simple and compound sentences. And in short, we call simple sentence as short sentence. Why? Because we only have one idea. But compound sentences have more than or at least two ideas, so we call it longer sentence or a medium because the long sentence belongs to the complex sentence. Right? How do we identify a complex sentence? A complex sentence is when we have a dependent clause. For example, when the cake is brown, when I was small, this morning. So dependent clause is a clause that cannot make sense on its own. Okay, we need something else to make the clause meaningful, and that is when we input independent clause. For example, when Miss Virus was small, Miss Fairus wanted to become the president, For example, when the cake is brown, remove it from the oven. So remove it from the oven. Can it stand on its own? Can we understand the clause on its own? Yes, we can. And that's why we call it independent. Right? So when we input or when we add dependent clause, then we create a complex sentence. Okay? When the child is hungry, he eats very quickly. When the child is hungry, he gobbles up his food. Okay, so the child gobbles up his food. That is independent clause. What is the dependent clause? When the child is hungry, right? So far, I hope it is very clear. And the three types of sentences are the common sentences we can see in any essays by the candidates or the students. So try to vary your sentences when you write your essay. Impress your examiner with short, medium, and long sentences. We can start with small ideas, but when we write our sentences, we begin with short sentences and then we develop or we progress our sentences into the medium length and long sentences, and hopefully examiner will give you or reward you good marks. Okay, so this is the highest type of sentences, which is compound complex sentences. And for this one, we have one dependent clause, but look at the number of independent clause. There are two. That's why we have compound complex sentence. Okay. For example, because he paid attention, he got an A plus grade on the exam and he was happy. So independent clause in this sentence, he got an A plus in his exam. He was happy. So what is the dependent clause? What is the adverb that we can add to this sentence? Because he paid attention, he got an A plus in his exam and he was happy because of that. Because he managed to make his parents proud, he managed to impress his friends, and for example, if he had a crush, then he managed to impress his crush as well. So that made him a very happy student and boy at the end of the day. Okay, another example. Although I like to go hiking, I haven't had the time to go lately and I haven't found anyone to go with. Okay, so where are the independent clauses? I haven't had time to go. Okay, and then the second one, I haven't found anyone to go with. I haven't managed to convince anyone to come with me. Okay, so although I like to go hiking, I haven't had the time to go lately and I haven't found anyone to go with. Okay, I believe that many of you are able to use or compose compound complex sentences. It is just that you rarely use this type of sentence in your essay. So if you want to get good marks, if you want to score good marks, if you want to impress your examiner, please use these two last types of sentences often. Okay, what are the two sentences that I recommend you to use? The first one is the complex sentences, and the second one, if it is okay, if you are able to do it, use also compound complex sentences. All right, so why? Okay, before that, I am sorry. Okay, so let's look at this table. Okay, hopefully it can show clearer of what I was trying to say. In simple sentences in an essay, he was tired, full stop. He, subject, was, verb, modifier, tired. Simple sentence. He went to bed. Again, simple sentences. So if you want to write longer sentence, then you use a conjunction. Being tired, he went to bed. He was tired, so he went to bed. Okay. Another example. He had finished his work. He returned home. Okay. After he had finished his work, he returned home. So instead of using a simple sentence, you add another element to make it longer. Rather than saying he returned home, then we give another information. When did he return home? Why did he return home? For example, he returned home after he had finished his work. He returned home after he received a call from his child informing him that there was an emergency at home, for example. Okay, another example. I saw a girl. She had blue eyes. How can you compose a compound sentence using these two simple sentences? I saw a girl with blue eyes. An easy one. Okay, another example. I saw a girl who have or who had blue eyes. Okay, so hopefully that can show clearly, okay, between those sentences. Okay, and did or why do I advise you to write all or use all these three or even four types of sentences? Because in SPM there is paper 2. Paper 2 is the writing paper. For paper 2, there are 3 essays that you have to write within 1 hour and 30 minutes. It sounds long, right? Oh, 1 hour and 30 minutes. I can write with no problems at all. I have so much time. I can write easily. But bear in mind, you are under exam conditions. You have limited time, and each essay question is different. You have to read each question carefully. You have to identify which information you need to include in your essay so that your essay fits all the description and your marks can certainly be a good one. Okay, so that is another constraint on the SPM candidates. All right, there are 3 parts for the writing paper. Part 1, the easiest one. Why did I say the easiest one? Because it is the shortest writing question. Why? Because you have to write about 80 words only. Okay, I don't know about you, but many of my students came up to me and asked, teacher, can we write more than 80 words? What do you think is the answer? Of course, you can write more than 80 words. Okay, By all means, if you are able, if you have so many ideas to write about, go ahead. If you have all the vocab that you need to write that, very good essay for question number one for part one writing paper, by all means, go ahead. But please bear in mind, it is very easy to lose track of time. Once you have started brainstorming, once you have started drafting and writing your essay, it will be very easy for you to get immersed and absorbed into your writing. Okay, and then after some time, only you realize, oh no, I have spent more than 45 minutes on this part one question one only, and that leaves you how much longer, or what is the remaining time that you can spend on the writing paper? Less than 1 hour. Okay, and you have two more questions. Okay, that is not a very wise move. Why? Because as you go down, or as you move to another question, then you realize the word limit is increasing. Okay, so please help yourself not to spend too long on the first question. Okay, it's only an email. Spend about 20 or 25 minutes on the first question only. If you can write, if you can think quicker, then spend only 15 minutes on the first question. 80 words, yeah, you can write longer than 80, maybe up to 150 words. That is enough. It's time to move on to the second essay question. Okay, so part one, question one, inshallah, is all about an email writing. Okay, what about part two and question two? Okay, it is an essay question of which you have to write about 125 to 150 words. It's a bit longer. Therefore, you should spend longer time on question two rather than question one. Okay, and as usual, you can write longer than 150 words. You can write up to 200 words. Okay, you can write up to 500 words, for goodness sake. It's just that please remember, this is an examination. You are subject to the time limit. You are subject to the time given for the paper. For the writing paper, SPM English, you are given only 1 hour and 30 minutes to answer 3 questions. So please remember at all time, do not spend too long on only one question. And the last one, it is a challenge in itself. Why? Because you have 3 choices. You have 3 options, whether it is an article, a review, a report, or a story. And the word limit is longer. It's no longer 80 words, it's no longer 150 words. Now you have to write between 200 and 250 words. So as you go down the question itself is getting more and more challenging. And the words that you have to use is getting longer and longer. And therefore, your sentences should also be moving from simple to medium and longer structures, or from simple to compound to complex, and if possible, compound complex sentences. Right? Okay. Okay. I am sharing with you the assessment scale for part one, question one, which is an email. There are four rubrics where your essay is going to be marked upon. The first rubric is on the content, and then the communicative achievement, organization, and the language aspect. Okay, where do all these simple, compound, and complex structures or sentences come in? You may ask me. I would like to draw your attention to the language aspect of the assessment scale. If you can read the language part there, users, if you want to aim for score 5, okay, uses simple grammatical forms with good degree of control, and then uses simple connectors. That's why I said for question one, that is the easiest question. You should not be spending too long on this question. Why? Because even if you use simple forms or simple structures, and there is no problem in understanding what you have written, the examiner has no problems understanding your essay. Obviously, you will get 5 just like that easily. All right. The next one for part 2, which is the essay part, look at the language aspect as well. And this is where the simple and complex sentences come in. That is, if you want to aim to get 5 out of 5 for language aspect. Or before that, let us look at the content. All content is relevant and target reader is fully informed. For this one, if you want to get 5, it is very easy. What do you have to do? You read the question, you understand the requirement of the question. For example, the question asks you to give recommendations. Okay, please note the plurality of the word recommendation. So if you just give one recommendation, does that fulfill the requirement of the question? Unfortunately, it does not, and therefore, it is safe to assume that you will not get all 5 marks for the content. So, content is very easy to score. When you get the question, you read the question, you understand the requirement of the question, and if you answer the requirement, if you fulfill all the requirements, then without doubt you will get the full mark, which is 5. For example, the question asks you to to identify a problem, to identify the reason for the problem, and to offer a solution. So there are 3 bullets that you have to address in your essay. So you give what the problem is, you identify what the reason is, and you also give a recommendation. And at the end of the day, when the examiner sees that you have fulfilled, you have given the problem, you have given the reason, you have given the recommendation. So 5 out of 5. Okay, and communicative achievement. What is that? Can you give 5 and also get 5 for communicative achievement? Yes, of course. Can you get 5 for content but get lower than 5? Let's say 3 or even 4 for communicative achievement. Yes. So, what is meant by communicative achievement? So, basically, communicative achievement is whether or not your essay makes sense, whether or not you use the correct tone for your essay. For example, you are requested or you have chosen to write a story, but then your essay doesn't sound or look like a story. That is when communicative achievement is not achieved. So you may get 5 for content, but you may score poorly on communicative achievement, maybe 2 or even 3. Why? Because the convention, because of the tone of your essay is not appropriate, is not suitable. Okay. Okay, the next one is organization. What is meant by organization? The first one, when we write an essay, of course, we expect paragraphing. Okay, and I believe all of you use paragraphing in your essay, right? So the first paragraph is always the introduction, and then you give the points and elaboration and examples to each idea. Maybe you have 3 ideas, so you use paragraph 2 for idea 1, paragraph 3 for idea 2, paragraph 4 for idea number 3, and last but not least, the last paragraph is always for your conclusion or the ending or the closing of your essay. So, some people may ask, teacher, what is the ideal number of paragraphs we should use for our essay? Okay, so if you have that kind of question, then I do not have one correct answer. You are welcome. You are allowed to use any number of paragraphs you like. So, for example, if your lucky number is 5, then you use 5 paragraphs, just like the layout I have just mentioned. The first paragraph is introduction, 2, 3, 4 are for the ideas, elaborations, and example, and the last paragraph is the conclusion. But if you like number 4, if you think number 3 is your lucky number, teacher, will I get penalized if I just write my essay in 3 paragraphs? No, sayang, you will not be penalized. Use any number of paragraphs you like that you feel comfortable. Teacher, I only have 2 ideas, so I cannot write up to 5 paragraphs. I only write in 4 paragraphs. That is okay as long as each paragraph you are writing about a different point or a continuation of the previous idea. You are not repeating the same idea in paragraph 2 followed by paragraph 3 followed by another paragraph you keep repeating. Okay, so no problem. And in organization as well, we look at how you organize your ideas, how you make sure you show cohesiveness between idea 1 and idea 2 and between sentences as well. For example, we use conjunctions, okay, and also uh, see sentence connectors and other cohesive devices, right? So this one is for question 2 part 2, and this one is part 3. Also look at the language aspect. Okay, so if you want to get 5, if you want to aim for score number 5, which is the highest score, um, common lexis, less common lexis. In simpler word, use bombastic words. However, please remember, even if your vocabulary are bombastic, even if your vocabulary or lexis are less common, you have to use the vocabulary appropriately or correctly to be given merit. Okay? To get good score for language aspect. It's no use to only use bombastic words, but then you use the words wrongly. No, 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 no. We don't want that to happen. Okay. So if you have all those good vocabs, all the good language expression, all the similes, okay, so use that in your essay. Other than that, I believe that you can spot the simple and complex sentences as well. So that is why I would like to recommend all of you to practice writing, to practice using simple, compound, and complex structures frequently. Okay, once you use that, once you write that, once you practice frequently, hopefully you will develop a very good habit where, and when the time comes for your actual SPM examination, you are ready to use all the different sentence structures in your essay. Okay, so let's try. Okay, so this is a practice, not really a practice. Let's try this. Yeah. This is for part one, question one, which is an email writing. You receive an email from your cousin Hanif who plans to go on a vacation. Hi, next week is a school holiday. Let's take a break and plan for a vacation. Where shall we go and why should we go there? How much money would we need for the trip? I can't wait to hear from you. Bye. So, this is the question. Let's look at the details. There are three information that you have to input or include in your email if you want to get 5 marks for your content. What is the information? What are the details? Number one, where shall we go? So please mention, please specify, please identify a specific place. Please do not say, where shall we go? Oh, we shall go to any places you like. I know that you like to go to the beach, so let's go to the beach. No, 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 no. That is not a very good way to answer. Yeah, please identify or please specify a place. For example, I know you enjoy going to beaches so much, so why not we go to Langkawi Beach, or why not we go to Cherating Beach? So it is very clear the name of the place to answer the question where. Okay, and why should we go there? Oh, we should go because you love beaches. That is also not a very good way to answer that question. Okay, so what is a better way to answer that question? Oh, I know you love beaches so much, so why don't we go to Cherating Beach? Cherating Beach is famous for crystal clear water and sandy beach. When we go there, we can chill at the beach from morning until late afternoon. Okay, so give a clear reason why that place is chosen. Why is that so? Because we want the examiner to clearly see that you have answered the required question. Okay, and the last but not least, how much money would we need for the trip? It doesn't cost that much. Full stop. That is also not a very good idea to answer this type of question. Okay, please specify. So, how much money? RM 100, RM 500, RM 1000. And it is always a good idea to provide extra information. For example, how much money would we need for the trip? For example, for the trip, I think we need about 1,000 ringgit. Don't be surprised or don't be shocked for that amount because number one, we need much money to enjoy good food during our trip. We don't want to go on empty stomach everywhere we go, don't we? For example. So maybe we can use 500 ringgit for the food and then 300 ringgit for the accommodation and the extra 200 ringgit for the souvenir. So it will be very clear that is the amount of money that is needed for the trip. Okay, so when you get the question, please read it carefully. Please identify the type of information you need to include in your answer, right? So, sample answer. Okay. Hi Hanef, sample answer number one. Hi Hanef, it's a great idea. Let's go to Cameron Highlands. It's a nice place. We can chill there. Okay, so let's go to Cameron Highlands. That is content one. It's a nice place. We can chill there. So that is content number two. Why should we go there? We should bring at least RM 200 ringgit. It's very clear how much money we need for the trip. 200 ringgit at least. Okay, why should we go there? We can buy strawberries and scones. Okay, so for content, this candidate definitely will get 5 marks for content. We should bring, there are many things we can buy there. I think we will have a memorable trip. Can't wait to meet you. Bye. So, does it look like an email from a friend to another friend? Yes. Do you understand what the candidate is trying to say here? Yes, no problem. It is understood very easily. So for communicative achievement, 5 marks as well. Right? And then for organization, it's a great idea. It's a nice place. We can chill there. Can you see that? It's a great idea. Let's go to Cameron Highlands. It's a nice place. We can chill there. So, simple sentence, simple sentence, simple sentence, simple sentence. Okay? Maybe for language, maybe it is not as high as 5, but how can you write better? Hi, Hanef, it's a great idea. Let's go to Cameron Highlands because it's a nice place and we can chill there. So rather than you use 3 simple sentences, you end up using simple and compound sentences for the first paragraph. So organization is good and language aspect is also promising. Okay, we should bring at least 200 ringgit. There are many things we can buy there. Strawberries and scones are among the delights. There is no problem. there is no errors, we can understand clearly, but let's try using compound and complex sentences. Okay? Short, long sentences. Let's try. We should bring at least 200 ringgit. Full stop. There are many things we can buy there. For example, strawberries and scones, which are among the delights. So, you combine the two sentences into only one. Okay? Okay, I think we will have a memorable trip. Can't wait to meet you. Yeah, okay, that is no problem. And bye. So from this just one sample or example, we can make it better. We can organize better if we use short, medium, long sentences or simple, compound, complex structures or sentences. It looks better, it impresses more. Alright, so that is sample one. Next, sample two. Hi Hanif, it's great to hear from you. Why don't we go for a trip to Cameron Highlands? It's because there are many interesting places we can visit. In addition, you can also escape from the heat in the concrete city you are living in. Cameron Highlands is famous for its tea plantations and strawberry farms. It must be a delight to visit those places. I heard that the strawberries there taste sweet and juicy. The teh tarik is also incredibly delicious. For the money, I think 200 ringgit each is sufficient as the food and drink there may cost an arm and a leg. Plus, we may buy souvenir for our friends and family. Till then, goodbye. Okay, number one. What is the difference? Number one, look at the length. Okay, it's not that sample 2 is definitely better than sample 1. I want you to also look at the organization and also the language aspect. For sample 1, what can you say? It is short, but that is not a problem. Why? Because an email writing you have to write up to 80 words. Okay, so if it is 85 words, then it's okay. We don't consider this email short of the required number of words. Therefore, it doesn't deserve to be penalized. Okay, for sample 2, number 1, it is longer. And number 2, the structures are also better. Why? Because we have short and long sentences. We have simple and compound structures. Okay? The next one. Okay, I hope it is clear why using different types of sentences help to make your essay look and sound better or impressive. Okay, so let's try. Practice one. You receive an email from your cousin just now from your friend Fiza who needs some advice to buy a gadget. Hi, I know I can't live without music. You know I can't live without my music. It helps me to study, but I just broke my earphones yesterday. I'm thinking of buying a wireless set. Can you suggest one? How much should I spend? Should I go for the sound quality or the design? And why? Can't wait to hear from you. Goodbye. So, see, the 80 words being is written in bold. So you can write longer than that, no problem. Yeah. Okay. So what are the three information that you have to input or include in your essay? The first one is the wireless set. Can you suggest one? For this one, it is just like with the previous sample. Please identify, or if it is possible, please specify a brand. Okay, so I'm thinking of buying a wireless set. Can you suggest one? Can you give an example? Right now, I'm using what is this headphone called? I can't remember just now. Okay, for example, a Sony one. Okay, so that is very clear, a name for the earphone wireless set. Okay, how much should you spend? Maybe RM 180 ringgit. And please do not forget to also justify how much money should be spent, because it is Sony and Sony is famous for its sound quality. We want to buy the quality, that's why that is the amount of money we should put in. Okay, it's no use to buy a cheap earphones, but after 1 week we cannot use that earphone anymore, and that's why I would recommend that you spend about RM 180, for example. Okay, so it's a good idea to justify after how much money you should spend. Just give a brief or a little justification why you recommend that much money. Okay. And then the last information. Should I go for the sound quality or the design? Don't forget to give a reason why. Okay, for example, if you use your earphones frequently, not only to hear music but also to listen to your teacher's lectures, I recommend you go for the sound quality. Why? Because the good sound quality will ensure that you listen to the music peacefully, or you listen to your teacher's lectures easily. You will not miss any important notes, for example. Or if you prefer the design, I know you are such a up to date person. So you should go for the latest design because it fits your personality, for example. Okay, so please do not forget, after you get the question, read the question carefully and identify which information should be addressed, and please do not forget to include that in your answer. Okay, that is practice one. The next one, practice number two. You receive an email from your cousin Anis who is studying abroad. Hi, I need your help. I'm going back to London next month and thinking of buying a local souvenir for a foreign friend of mine. What can I bring back as a gift? Where can I buy it? Also, I'm thinking of bringing back some local snacks too, like dodol or durian chocolate. Yummy! What do you think? Thanks and bye. So again, for question one, part one, normally there are three types of information you have to include in your email. Okay, for practice number two, can you identify what information are there? Okay, what can I bring back as a gift and where can you buy that? Okay, and the last one, between dodol or durian chocolate, which one should I bring back to London and why? The same with the gadget. Okay, so three information, three pieces of information you have to include in your essay. So for example, what can I bring back as a gift? For example, from Malaysia with love. Okay, so for example, what is a famous Malaysian gift? The easiest one, what will it be? Malaysia is famous for its wooden craftwork, for example. Okay, maybe you can bring back a wooden craft, for example. Oh, sorry, maybe a wow as a traditional sports from Malaysia. Where can I buy it? There are so many places. For example, the tourist shop. Or if you go and travel to many villages in Malaysia, then you can buy it cheaper at any folks shop. Okay? And local snacks, dodol or durian chocolate. Dodol, what is good about dodol that the London people would love to enjoy or have dodol? What about durian chocolate? Of course, in London, there is no durian available. So maybe durian chocolate is not a bad idea to bring back for the London people to enjoy local snacks from Malaysia. Okay, so remember when you get the question, what is it that you have to do? Read and identify, and please include the required information. All right. Okay, so we are done with question one, part one. Okay, so please, as much as possible, try use simple, compound, and complex structures in your essay, even though it is a short piece of writing, which is part one, question one, and email writing, which you have to write in about 80 words only. Right? Next. Question 2. An essay writing longer than the first question. Okay, for this one you have to write in 125 to 150 words. For example, your class has been discussing the ways to keep your school clean and your teacher has asked you to write an essay about it. In your essay, you should write about an activity you could do to keep your school clean. Number two, why we must keep our school clean, the reason why. Okay, and then number three, how to encourage other students or others to keep the school clean. For question number two, the required information is clearer. Why? Because there are bullet one, bullet two, and bullet three. It's very clear compared to question number one. But question number two is longer. Question number one is shorter. Okay, it doesn't matter. Question one or question two, as much as possible, try to incorporate. Okay, short, medium, and long sentences in your essay. Okay, so sample answer number one. Okay, school is a place where students learn. It should be clean and safe. No one will be happy if school is dirty. School is a place where students learn. Firstly, we can organize a cleanliness competition. Each class must keep their classroom neat. Prizes will be given to winners. This can strengthen the bond among class members. School must be clean so that students can concentrate in class. They should not be distracted by rubbish. How can we encourage others to keep the school clean? We can do so by giving leaflet or brochure. This may help them realize that cleanliness is very important. In conclusion, everyone must play their part to ensure cleanliness of the school. Okay, what can you say about sample answer number one? Okay, about the sentence structure, it is okay. Okay, sorry. Okay. I would like to draw your attention to this one. Yeah. Prizes will be a yeah. Prizes will be given to winners. Okay. Sometimes, not sometimes, I take it back. It is recommended that you incorporate the short, medium, and long sentences, the simple, compound, and complex sentences into your essay. But do not forget that we also have other types of sentences. They are called active and passive voices. Okay, look at the second paragraph, the third sentence. Prizes will be given to winners. So this candidate is not a weak student. Why? Because this candidate is using a passive structure as well. So we can assume that this candidate has sufficient proficiency of the language, because not only is this candidate able to use short and long structures or sentence structures, this candidate also use passive structures or passive voices. Okay, for example is in the third paragraph, the second sentence. School must be clean so that students can concentrate in class. They should not be distracted by rubbish. That is a passive sentence. Okay. What is the active sentence? Rubbish distracts students in learning. Okay. How can we? Okay, the rest is okay lah. All right. And by comparison, sample answer 1 and sample answer 2, just like the first question or the first part. Now, sample answer number 2 is definitely longer than sample answer number 1. When I say sample answer number 2 is longer, definitely sample answer number 2 has more complex sentences than sample answer number 1. Okay? But let us look at if sample answer number 2 also has passive voices or passive sentences, right? Maintaining the cleanliness of our school is no easy task and has been the topic at hand for years. This is due to the fact that initializing such an act at such a large scale will require the utmost dedication and discipline from every member of the school. Hence, I have a proposal on how this issue can be resolved. All right. So, if you have good vocab, if you know how to construct very long sentences, if you are confident at using all the words into composing such a compound complex structure is, by all means go ahead, because if you or if the examiner receives a script like this from a candidate, even from reading the first paragraph, the examiner will feel very impressed. Okay, so first impression leaves the biggest impact. Okay, so if the examiner has been impressed from the beginning, the probability or the likelihood of you getting good marks for content and for all the rubrics is very good. Okay. Firstly, I would discuss with the school higher ups to launch a program which is obligatory for all students to clean and tidy up their classes. All participating classes with the cleanest environment will receive a prize. From sample answer number one, we have a passive voice or a passive structure. But for sample number two, the sentence is very long, but it is an active one. Okay, so that is a difference. But in terms of complexity of the sentence, sample answer number two is more. Okay. Meanwhile, the class which fails to do so will be given a penalty. It is hoped that such a program will instill the love for cleanliness among students. Apart from that, see how the candidate is organizing the details or the ideas. Firstly, okay, launch a program. Apart from that, what is idea number two? It will certainly, it may seem like a hassle to keep our school clean, but it will certainly prove to be beneficial. This will answer point number two. Okay. As a matter of fact, learning in a clean and conducive environment will improve students' concentration as they are not distracted by rubbish and dirt. Consequently, their grades will be better. Yay! There is one evidence that this second candidate or sample answer number two is also using a passive voice. Will improve students' concentration as they are not distracted by rubbish and dirt. Okay. And last but not least, encouraging others to keep the school clean is by educating them on the importance of cleanliness. Not only will it bring numerous advantages, but also others may find our act to be inspirational and thus decide to follow in our footsteps. Wow! Look at the sentence structure. That is what we can call compound complex sentence. Okay? It will bring numerous advantages. Others may find our act to be inspirational. Decide to follow in our footsteps. Many independent clauses. In conclusion, we should always keep our alma mater clean. Alma mater is a synonym for school, okay? Because it is the very place where we acquire knowledge and develop social skills to be a useful person in future. Okay? This sample answer number two clearly shows, okay, not only it is important for us to have or to possess good vocabulary, it is also very useful if you can use all the good vocab correctly in order to deliver your point. If you are able to do that, I believe that examiners will have no problem to give you full mark for all the four rubrics, from the content to communicative achievement, organization, and language aspect. Okay, so let's practice. Practice one. Your class has been talking about the importance of self care. Your teacher has asked you to write an essay about it as your homework. In your essay, you should write about a few examples of self care, how you take care of yourself, why self care is important. Okay, so remember, please include information to address all the, excuse me, to address all the bullet points given. A few examples of self care. Can you think of any? Okay. How you take care of yourself and why self care is important. Okay, a few examples of self care. I believe everyone has heard about me time. Yeah? Okay. Me time is when you spend or take some time and spend it on yourself only. Yeah, that is very important to ensure of your mental health. How you take care of yourself? Very easy. Can you think of any? How do you take care of yourself every day? Okay, when you wake up, how do you take care of yourself? Number one, you shower. You take a shower. Okay, you bathe. If you do not love yourself, then you will not bathe. Why? I don't like my body. I don't care if I smell. I just don't want to take care of myself. Okay? So we are not like that, are we? So how you take care of yourself? The easiest one is I take care of myself from very early in the morning until I go to bed on every day. How? I bathe, I take a shower, and then I put on good clothes. Even if the clothes is not new, I will make sure that the clothes are clean. Why? Because when I put on clean clothes, people will see me as a clean person. I really take care of myself. People will be comfortable to be near me or to be around me. And why self care is important? Because it shows your personality, whether you are a good person, whether you practice good hygiene, something like that. Okay. And practice number two. Your class has been discussing eco friendly products. Your teacher has asked you to write an essay on it. In your essay, you should include an eco friendly product you use in your daily life, reasons how the product helps to save the environment, and a way how the product can be promoted to the community. Okay, can we try to do this together? Okay, what can be an introduction? Your class has been discussing eco-friendly products. Okay, what can be our introduction on eco-friendly products? We can write about how the earth has aged. We can also write about what the earth is suffering from today, especially from pollution. And that is the reason why we should use eco-friendly products. For example, there are so many people that live in only one earth. So it is our responsibility, our collective responsibility to preserve the health of our Mother Earth so that our next generation can also enjoy living on planet Earth just like we do today. Okay? A simple introduction. An eco-friendly product you use in your daily life? Eco-friendly product you use in your daily life? The simple example, what will it be? Okay, for myself, for example, daily life. I do not drink water bottle like this every day. What do I bring to school? I use water bottle like this. Why? Because I can use it as many times as I want, and also it is durable. But for this one, I can only use it once. If I recycle using it or if I keep using it every day, it may harm my health. Why? Because all plastic products has a code. If the number or if the code is 1, that means you can only use it once. And after that, you have to discard it. You have to throw it away. What will happen to you if you use it more and more? That will harm your health. Why? Because there may be a chemical reaction caused by the plastic and affects the quality of the water that you drink. Okay, eco-friendly product you use in your daily life, for example, water bottle. Don't use this one, use this one. Okay, so it is recyclable. Okay, and also long durable. Okay, longer lasting. What can be the reasons how the product helps to save the environment? Number one, it may not pollute the environment. Therefore, we are doing our part to help save the environment. Okay, and also by using this water bottle instead of this one, we can reduce the amount of rubbish we throw every day, and we can save some space for the landfill. Right? And a way how the product can be promoted to the community, that is a good one. Okay, what is the easiest answer? A way how the product can be promoted to the community. Number one, if the water bottle like this, right? Maybe it is bulky. And if I want to walk from one class or one place to another place, I can hold it like this, but again, it is bulky. So, a way how the product can be promoted to the community by improving the design, by varying the size of the water bottle. If it is so big, if it is bulky, then maybe we can design sleeker or slimmer size so that not only adults like me can use this water bottle, but also school going children or small children can also use this water bottle if they want to go somewhere. Okay, varying the sizes, designing more attractively of the water bottle are the ways to promote the product to the community. All right, so question one is always an email writing. Question two is always an essay writing. Question one is short. Question two is longer. Right? So please remember, try to use short, medium, long sentences, simple, compound, complex sentences in your essay. So we are done with question number 2. Next, we move on to part 3. Okay. Just like what I have shared with you earlier, part 3, I think, is the most challenging part of the writing paper. Why? Unlike, or not the same, unlike part 1 and part 2, there is only one question. Okay, one question for part 1, one question for part 2. Everyone answers the same question. It is not the same with part 3. Why did I say it is the most challenging? Because you have 3 options, right? The first option, sometimes you have to write an article. Sometimes you have to write a report. Sometimes you have to write a review. And sometimes you have to write a story. Okay? There are 4 other writing options. But for part 3, only 3 types of essays are tested. Okay. So why did I say it is the most challenging? Because number one, you have to make a decision. Are you going to choose, or are you going to answer question 3 or question 4 or question 5? Okay, for part 3, here is my advice. You read all the 3 questions. Okay. And I would advise that you take some time, maybe 1 minute, to list down all the points or all the ideas you have for each question. For example, this question. You recently saw this notice in a magazine. Reviews required. Have you watched any interesting television program lately? Send us your review. State the name of the program and where you watch it. Tell us what you liked about the program. Would you recommend it to your friends and why? The best review will be published in our newsletter. Write your review. After you read the question, and then you try to list down all the answers. You know about the program, you know where you watch it, you know that you like the program, you know you can convince people to watch the program as well. And also, you feel confident, you feel comfortable to answer this question. So, my advice is choose question 3. Okay? But after you read question 3 and then you go blank, you don't have any ideas. Oh, at that time your mind goes blank. You cannot think of the television program you really like so much that you watch every day after you come back from school. And also you cannot give a reason why you like the program so much. What more to recommend the program? Then my advice is do not choose question 3. Okay? What about question 4? Alright, so if I do not choose question 3, what other choices do I have? Then we look at question 4 and we look at question 5. Question 4. Your school recently held a science and innovation competition. Your teacher has asked you to write a report on the competition. In your report, you need to include the following: the activities conducted, the benefits gained by the participants, suggestions on how to improve future competitions. The report must be submitted to your teacher by the end of the week. Write your report. Okay? Some of you might want to ask, what is the format of a report? Will there be extra mark for the correct format used for the report? I would answer, I would say the easiest format for a report is as long as you have two who, for example, your teacher has asked you to write a report on the competition. So we assume that the report is for your science teacher. Then, two, the head of science and innovation department, for example. Two, from what is your name? For example, me, Fairus Hasbala. So, to the Science and Innovation Department from Fairus binti Hasbala, and then the title of the report. Very easy. What is the title? If you have no idea of what the title should be, then you read the question again. Your school recently held a science and innovative competition. So, what can be the title? A report on science and innovation competition. Then that is the format of a report. To, from, title. Done. Okay. And then you write your report at the end of the report. Okay. You can either use reported by or prepared by or written by. Up to you which one you want to use. Please do not use yours faithfully. No, 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 no. That is only for a letter writing. For report writing, it is one among three options. Yeah, reported by, written by, or prepared by, and then your signature, and then under your signature is your full name in bracket written in capital letters. And some students feel more comfortable to also write the position of the student writing the report. For example, Fairus Piti Hasbullah, Secretary of the Science and Innovation Club, for example. Okay, so let us try answer this question. The activities conducted. What are the activities can you think of that can be held during a science and innovation competition? Okay, so for example, activities conducted, there will be rocket launching. What else? Gravity detector, for example. Okay, so please note the plurality of the information. Not only one activity, it says activities, plural. So please give more than one activity. Okay, the second point, the benefits gained by the participants. What can be an example of this information? The benefits gained by the participants, number one, they can develop or they can improve their science skills, and they can also be more creative students. Yeah, they are given the opportunity to explore their creative side, creative personality, for example. So the benefits, they can apply the science knowledge into their project when they are presenting, for example. So the benefits gained. Okay, again, Please note the use of plurality. Do not give only one benefit, at least give two. Then you answer the requirement of the question, the benefits, not only benefit. Okay. The next one or the last bullet, suggestions on how to improve future competitions. Okay. For example, the competition needs longer time. Uh, there are so many projects but very limited time to present. At the end, the presentation was not that enjoyable. Okay? Suggestions. So more than one suggestion. Suggestion number two. Suggestion number one is longer time for the competition. Suggestion number two, more prizes to be given away to the winners. Why? Prizes attract participants. More students will be interested to join in. The more the merrier. So the competition will be so meriah lah. For example. So please note, yeah, whatever question you get, please read carefully, understand the requirement of the question. If the question asks for a single information, then you just give one. If the question requires more than one, the plurality of the information, you give more than one, at least two. Okay? And example of question number 5, a story writing or a narrative. Your teacher has asked you to participate in a story writing contest. The story must end with the following words: I would never forget that moment until my last breath. In your story, you must describe the moment, talk about what made the moment unforgettable. Okay, so I would like to highlight the instruction. It says the story must end with the following words. Must end. Okay, and not begin. Okay, so you read the question, you understand the question, and then you brainstorm what you can write, what ideas you can use for your story, and then you start writing your story. At the end, you check your story. Please do not forget to end your story with I would never forget that moment until my last breath. In writing out your story, please do remember to describe the moment. What kind of moment will it be? What moment would you like to write about? Is it going to be a very sad moment? Is it going to be the happiest moment of your life? Okay, you choose. And give a reason why that moment is unforgettable. Okay, it is unforgettable because that was the only moment I could spend with my biological mother before she passed on forever. And for as long as I live, I would never forget that moment until my last breath. For example, okay? So, whatever the question requires you to do, make sure you fulfill the requirement. Only then you can expect to get good marks. All right? So far, we have looked at a sample question 3, which is a review, and also a sample of a report, and also a sample question of a narrative. Allah teacher, just now you said that there is another formatted essay that may be tested in part 3, which is an article. Yes, I remember. So this is an alternative sample question for an article. You see this notice on the school library board. Articles want a charity among teenagers. State the charity teenagers usually do. The benefits of doing charity, suggest ways to encourage charity. The best article will be published in the school magazine. Write your article. So maybe the common question, what is the format to be used for an article writing? Article, there is only two items that you have to use. Number one is the title of the article. It's very easy. Why? The title is given in the question already. What is the title? Charity among teenagers. So that is the first item that you have to use when you or if you choose to write an article. The first one is the title, and after the title is the name of the writer. For example, Charity Among Teenagers, written by Fairus binti Hasbullah. That's it. That is the only format for an article. Easy or not? Yeah, maybe some may find it easy, but again, even if it is easy, you still have to brainstorm what ideas that you can write for this question. If you can come out with so many ideas, and you can also provide elaboration and give example, then this is the question you should choose. Why? Because enough ideas will help you write easily, and also will help you not to waste time, to think and think and think while writing. So that helps you a lot, right? Okay. So again, I would like to advise you for part 3, writing paper. Please take some time to read all the questions, all the 3 options. It can be about a story, it can be about an article, it can be about a review, it can be about a report. Okay? Please take some time to list down all the ideas for all the questions, and please choose the question you have the most ideas for. It will definitely help you with the writing. It will definitely help you with elaborating the ideas. That will definitely help you with managing your time when you are writing the essay. All right, so let us just go over the main points that we have discussed tonight. Okay, if you want excellent mark, please use SML S for short, M for medium, and L for long. What are these for? Short, medium, and long. What are they for? What are they referring to? S and L refer to sentences. Similarly, use SC, CC, simple, compound, complex, and if you are able to do that, use compound, complex sentences. Right? Writing is not perfected overnight, just like the saying goes. Rome was not built overnight, right? So the same with writing. Okay, before you start writing, you have to brainstorm. What does brainstorm mean? Brainstorm or brainstorming means you spend some time thinking. Okay, you think first of what the points are for your essay. What will be your introduction? What will be your point number one, point number two, point number three, and how can you end? How can you conclude your essay? Okay, brainstorming stage is only the thinking process. You do not have to write in full. You just jot down in bullet points. Okay, this should help you in writing stage when you want to organize your ideas. Sometimes you lose track of what ideas you have written about and which idea you have not yet used. So brainstorming stage is very useful. Okay? Only then you draft. For each idea, what elaboration, what examples can you use? And then the writing stage, and last but not least, if you still have even a few minutes left, you should use that time to proofread your essay. Okay? In simpler terms, you should use that time to check and correct your essay. And hopefully, if you can identify any of the mistakes, you still have time to correct the mistakes. So when you submit your script, all the mistakes have been corrected, and when your examiner receives your script, the examiner can see that there is no mistakes whatsoever. Why? Because you got the time to correct the mistakes. Yay! So your essay will be perfect. And also, writing is not perfected overnight. Why? Because writing is a skill. Writing to some people is also a routine or a habit you develop. Writing is not easy. There is no shortcut to writing. In order to write well, you need to have a few things. You need to have, just like a mechanic, just like a plumber. They cannot do their work without equipment. The same with a writer. What are their tools? What are the equipment they use? Number one is vocabulary. Okay, how can you improve? How can you enhance your vocabulary? It is none other, and I would not recommend other method than reading. Okay, reading I believe is the best way to acquire vocabulary. That is your tool number one. If you have good vocab, come whatever question you can answer well, no problems. Right? So, reading is for vocabulary, and if you want to write effectively, that is why we go for simple, compound, complex, and compound complex sentences. Please use short, medium, and long sentences. All right? Because some people they get bored if they read all from the beginning until the end, all short sentences, short sentences, short sentences. Okay? So, it is very highly recommended that you mix, that you use various sentences from short to medium to long sentences. All right. Okay, I think that is all from me tonight. I would love to see if there is any questions or not from the floor.
All right. We're still waiting for the questions from our audience. Anybody, you are free to ask any of questions to our teachers. Um, but from my side, teacher, I have
Yeah.
from my side, I have a few questions. Do you have any of tips to prevent our student to not make any of unfinished story on their essay?
Okay, unfinished story. I like that. Okay, that's why earlier I stress or I emphasize on time management and also brainstorming. During brainstorming, you should have gotten the idea of what kind of story you would like to be writing, and you have the intro, you have the body of the story, and you have the conclusion or the ending of the story plus the conflict in the story, right? So in order to avoid unfinished story, time is very important.
Yeah.
Okay, for example, like you only have 15 minutes left and you want to write a story. Oh my, you have to think of a good introduction to engage your audience or your examiner, and also you have to think of a good conflict to keep their enthusiasm going into reading your story until the end. So the tips I would like to give is, or the tips I would like to offer is, always observe your time. Do not spend so long on unnecessary things. For example, oh, have I written this correctly? Oh, what? Something like that. Okay. Always keep track of your time.
So the time is important.
Yes,
We
very. Mhm.
handle our time correctly. Is it?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. My second questions. Do you have any tips to tackle the question if we will not understand? So because we you also know our students just make tembak out, right? If it was objective questions.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have any of tips?
Okay. To answer this question, I would suggest that now that we are still in the first week of January, I would suggest that you try practice or answer as many questions as you can get your hands on. Okay, because maybe when you first or when you start practicing, oh, I got stuck with question 3. And then later, oh, question 5 also, I don't know what this word means. That is for a starter. But I believe the more practice or the more questions you do, doesn't matter if the first practice you spend like 1 hour just to answer reading comprehension, for example. But I believe over time, over few more practices, you will become quicker to answer the questions. Why? Because you already come across, you already see the same words being used and you know the meaning already. But you cannot put it to a later date. You have to start now. Lah. So practice more because it is my belief that practice makes perfect. Even
Yeah.
if you don't know the word now, maybe after a few weeks practice, that word will no longer become alien to you or foreign to you lah.
Yeah, okay. So student, you still has a lot of time to study more and
Yes.
more. Yeah, you still
Yeah,
for
because your science Amali only starts at the end of January, so you
yeah,
still have a few more weeks to prepare before the actual SPM takes place. Okay?
exactly. Okay.
Yeah. All
All right,
right.
teacher. We're still waiting for the others questions, but I don't think so. So I think this is maybe the end of our live sessions. So thank you to our panels who giving a lot of knowledge, a lot of intentions to us. Thank you so much, Teacher Fairus. And
Thank you, Zul. Okay.
from my side, um, I wanna be apologize if I make any of mistake during our live sessions, and I wish all the best to all the candidates who who going to perform their SPM. I wish all the best for you. So this is the end. I hope we can meet again, Teacher Virus. Thank you and take care. Stay safe
You
and
too.
good night.
Bye. Good
Bye bye.
night.
Right. Thank you, teacher.
Bye. Bye. Thank you, Zul. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. Bye.
Bye
Good
bye.
night.